Everyone screamed. She stood up. One moment changed aviation forever. A single act of courage in the face of chaos rewrote the rules of the skies and saved countless lives. Before we dive in, what time are you listening? Where are you from? Drop a comment below and tell me. And please like and subscribe for more videos like this. She was sitting in seat 12A when the screaming started. Ellen Church was her name, and on that spring morning in 1930, she was not just a passenger. She was a nurse, a trained professional who had spent years in operating rooms, keeping her composure when others panicked. But this morning was different. This morning, she was watching her dream crumble before it even had a chance to take flight. The aircraft shook violently. The Boeing 80 model rocked as it prepared for departure from San Francisco. Inside the cabin, 8 passengers gripped their armrests. Their knuckles turned white. Their faces drained of color. One woman began to sob. A man near the front clutched his chest. Another passenger stood up, demanding to be let off the plane immediately. Ellen watched the chaos unfold. She watched the flight attendants, who were really just baggage handlers in uniforms, freeze in place. They had no training for this, no protocol, no idea how to calm terrified passengers who were convinced they were about to die. And in 1930, that fear was not irrational. Aviation was still new, still dangerous, still unpredictable. People crashed. People died, and the public knew it. But Ellen saw something else. She saw an opportunity. She had been trying for months to convince Boeing Air Transport to hire women as cabin attendants. Not just any women, nurses, trained medical professionals who could handle emergencies, calm passengers, and provide care at 20,000 feet. But every airline executive she approached laughed at her idea. They said women were too delicate for flying, too emotional, too weak to handle the physical demands of air travel now. As the screaming grew louder, Ellen stood up. She did not ask for permission. She did not wait for instruction. She simply moved through the cabin with calm precision. She approached the sobbing woman first, placed a gentle hand on her shoulder, spoke in a low, steady voice. She explained that turbulence was normal, that the aircraft was designed for this, that the pilots were trained professionals. The woman stopped crying. She nodded. She took a deep breath. Ellen moved to the man clutching his chest. She checked his pulse, asked him questions in that same calm tone, determined he was having a panic attack, not a heart attack. She guided him through breathing exercises. Slowly, his color returned. His breathing steadied. His grip on the armrest loosened. One by one, Ellen worked through the cabin. She did not raise her voice. She did not rush. She treated each passenger with the same professional care she would give in a hospital. And within 15 minutes, the cabin was quiet. The passengers were calm. The flight took off without further incident. The co-pilot noticed. He had watched the entire scene unfold from the cockpit door. He had seen trained men freeze while this young woman took control. When they landed, he asked Ellen who she was, why she was so calm, what her training was. She explained that she was a nurse, that she had been trying to get hired by the airline for months, that she believed women could revolutionize air travel by making passengers feel safe. The co-pilot wrote a report. He sent it directly to Steve Stimson, the traffic manager at Boeing Air Transport. In his report, he described what he witnessed. He described how one trained nurse had accomplished what no airline employee had managed to do. She had made passengers feel safe in the sky. 3 weeks later, Ellen received a telegram. Boeing Air Transport wanted to meet with her. They wanted to discuss her proposal. They wanted to consider hiring registered nurses as cabin attendants. Ellen could barely believe it. The idea she had been pitching for months, the concept every executive had dismissed, was suddenly being taken seriously. But the meeting did not go as she hoped. The executives sat across from her with skeptical expressions. They questioned everything. They asked if women could handle the physical demands, if they could lift heavy luggage, if they could work long hours without complaining, if passengers would even accept being cared for by women at altitude. Ellen answered every question with facts, with logic, with examples from her nursing career. Then one executive asked the question that would change everything. He asked if she could find 7 more women just like her. Women who were registered nurses, women who were single, women who weighed less than 115 pounds, women who were shorter than 5 feet 4 inches, women who could commit to 18 months of service, women who would accept being fired if they got married. The requirements were insulting, degrading, designed to exclude as many women as possible. But Ellen said yes. She said she could find those women because she understood something the executives did not. This was not about meeting their ridiculous standards. This was about opening a door that had been locked shut. Once that door opened, even just a crack, it could never be fully closed again. Ellen recruited 7 nurses. She trained them herself. She taught them how to greet passengers with warmth, how to check tickets with efficiency, how to serve meals at altitude, how to handle medical emergencies in confined spaces, how to project calm when everything inside the cabin suggested panic. She taught them that their job was not just about service. It was about trust, about making people believe that flying was safe. On May 15, 1930, the first group of stewardesses took to the skies. Ellen Church led them. 8 registered nurses in crisp uniforms became the first female flight attendants in aviation history. They were called Sky Girls. They were paid $125 per month. They worked 100 hours of flight time. They were required to help fuel the aircraft, to load luggage, to clean the cabin between flights. They faced discrimination from male crew members who resented their presence. They endured passengers who refused to be served by women. They tolerated regulations that treated them like children rather than professionals. But something remarkable happened. Passenger complaints about flying dropped dramatically. People who had been terrified of air travel began booking flights specifically because stewardesses were on board. The presence of these calm, professional nurses made aviation feel safer, more civilized, more accessible to the average person. Within 2 years, every major airline in America had hired stewardesses. Within 5 years, it became the standard across the industry. Ellen Church never sought fame. She continued flying until 1932, when a car accident injured her badly enough that she could no longer meet the physical requirements. She returned to nursing. She served as an army nurse during World War II. She received the Air Medal for her bravery in evacuating wounded soldiers from combat zones. She married a captain. She lived a quiet life away from the spotlight, but her legacy soared higher than she ever did. By 1960, there were over 10,000 stewardesses working for airlines worldwide. The profession became one of the most sought-after careers for young women. It offered travel, independence, a salary, an escape from traditional domestic roles. It was not perfect. The weight requirements remained. The appearance standards were strict. The marriage bans continued for decades. But it was a beginning. Ellen Church died in 1965. She was only 60 years old. Most people who flew on commercial airlines had no idea who she was. No idea that the entire concept of flight. Attendants began with one nurse who refused to stay seated when others were screaming. No idea that the woman who changed aviation forever did it without fanfare, without recognition, without demanding credit. Today, millions of people fly safely every single day. They are greeted by flight attendants who are trained professionals, who handle medical emergencies, who evacuate aircraft in 90 seconds, who remain calm when passengers panic, who make the impossible routine of human flight feel normal. And it all started because one woman stood up when everyone else was screaming. Ellen Church did not wait for permission to lead. She did not accept that her gender disqualified her from contributing. She did not let rejection stop her from pursuing what she knew was right. She saw a problem and she solved it. She saw an opportunity and she seized it. She changed an entire industry by simply refusing to accept that things had to stay the way they were. So if you liked this video, please like and subscribe for more videos like this.